So I'm going to be making some red snapper with roasted vegetables, and I'm going to be using these green beans, and I have to cut up these green beans to make them in bite-sized pieces. So I'm going to cut them up like that, cut off each tip, and then cut it in half. And that's going to take me some time, so I'm going to do that real quick here. It looks like I have maybe I think about a pound of green beans to cut up. Now I have all these potatoes from my garden, and there's just a variety of potatoes in here, fingerlings, all sorts of kind of potatoes. And I'm gonna rinse those off and cut them up, and I'm gonna cut them into bite-sized pieces. And throw them in the bowl that has the green beans in them. Look at that potato. Oh, well, that's cool. It's red on the inside. This must be one of the heirloom varieties of potatoes. Oh, look, I think that's a purple potato. Yep, I think that's a purple potato. There's one purple potato that I've seen so far. That's the rare variety that is purple on the outside and yellow on the inside. I have so many different kinds of potatoes in the garden, I couldn't tell you what they all are. Same with garlic. I plant, whenever I get garlic, whenever I get potatoes, I plant some in the garden. So now I need an onion, so I'm going to cut it in half. And it does have a bit of a bad spot right there, so I'm going to just cut that off. And then I'm going to cut this onion into bite-sized chunks. I'm going to use a couple of these small onions here. These ones are a little fresher. And then we have our bowl of vegetables here. And then I have this salad dressing. This is Newman's Own classic oil and vinegar dressing. And I'm just going to coat these vegetables with this dressing here and mix them up. Let's add some salt. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt, and then I'm going to add some Italian seasoning. And then I'm going to add some garlic powder. And now give it a nice stir. Yeah, I think that needs a little more oil. Now I would recommend olive oil, but I'm all out of olive oil, so I'm going to use vegetable oil. And I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons. Alright, now I'm going to get my oven preheated to 450. And I'm going to take this baking sheet here and add my vegetables. Spread those out. And even though the oven's not fully preheated yet, I'm gonna go ahead and pop those in the oven because they got a slow roast anyways. And I'm gonna pop them in the oven for an hour and a half and then come check on them. So I have this skillet here, and I'm going to heat up some ghee in the skillet. Now you could use butter or olive oil, but I only have ghee right now because it's the end of the month, I'm broke. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of ghee to the skillet. And then I have this red snapper. So I'm going to check and see if there's any bones in it. Not feeling any bones, which is good. Now that my ghee is heating up, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. And you just want to infuse that ghee with that garlic. Or butter, whatever you choose to use. I would probably choose butter over olive oil, or at least a mix of the two, because butter is so complementary to fish. Now I'm going to add my fish. And I'm going to set the timer for, let's do 7 minutes. Okay, here we are 5 minutes in, and I feel like it needs to be flipped. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it. One of them did break. In fact, it looks like both of them are gonna, looks like all of them are gonna break. Oh. There we go. That one's definitely broken. So I think it needs about 5 minutes per side. Ooh, look at that one. That one looks good. And then I have 2 oranges here. I'm going to squeeze on some orange juice. And I'm going to sprinkle on some brown sugar. About 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And then I'm going to sprinkle on about 2 tablespoons of tarragon. Try and get this sauce mixed up. And now we just want this to simmer down and get kind of thickened up. I'm not sure how much it's going to thicken up, but we'll see. I think this is ready to pull out. I'm going to pull out this large fillet here. That's just beautiful. And now we're going to pull out our vegetables from the oven. There was still 30 minutes left on it, but I think they're done. And these vegetables are definitely done. And here's the rockfish with the roasted vegetables. I think I am going to just pour a little bit of the sauce on here, because I'm sure the sauce is absolutely delicious.